Most of the information that we are going to share tonight pertain to our graduate programs. If you are interested in a coordinate major, we can definitely provide a contact number or a contact email for you so that you can get additional information as well. This is not a long webinar, but we try to create it to where you get all of the details that you need in terms of how the programs operate and what's needed and the timeline for admissions. We have a few members joining us. I'm Dr. Davis, the program director and professor of practice. We also have Anne, who is our superstar from admissions, and she kind of makes these webinars happen. I also have two of my colleagues with me, and I'm going to ask them to unmute and introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Bourgeois. I am the program manager and assessment coordinator for education programs. I'm also the advisor for the MED program and for the education graduate certificates. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ginger Whidden. I am the clinical placement coordinator, and I help place you if you are in need of student teaching assignment, and I help coordinate mentor teachers.
Thanks, ladies. So as I mentioned before, the programs are housed in SoPA. So SoPA is the School of Professional Advancement. On the prior screen, and you don't have to go back, but on the prior screen, it just showed that Tulane is made up of 10 different schools, and Tulane SoPA is one of them. So the School of Professional Advancement is pretty well known as SoPA, and we kind of just stick to the shortened version of the name. We are located on the Uptown campus. Most of us are located in the Richardson building, but we also have another office on Ferret Street. The Richardson building on the second floor is dedicated to the education programs. Most of the classes will likely be housed in there, or although you can have class in other buildings, but we try to get some of them housed in there. Some of you may be familiar with the Elmwood campus. We no longer have any of our courses on the Elmwood campus. All of our courses are either online or on the Uptown campus.
And this is what we'll be talking about tonight in our program. We'll discuss our wonderful faculty, the programs that we offer. We have a Master of Arts in Teaching program, which is an initial certification program, and then also the Master of Education program and the graduate certificates that we offer. We'll discuss our learning experience. For the MAT program, it's a hybrid program, so it's both in person and online. The MED program and graduate certificates are 100% online. We'll also talk about our great student support. We have an excellent advising program. I'm the MED advisor, and then Torian, not to say I'm so excellent, but Torian Mingo is the MAT advisor, and he's excellent as well. But there's a lot of support. We have the director of advising is incredible. And we'll talk about the affordability and flexibility of our programs, different scholarship and grant opportunities for all of our students, the flexibility of our program, about the online opportunities, and I will let Claudine take it from here.
This is just a snippet of a few of our faculty members. We have Amanda, who is a full-time faculty member with us, but she's also the executive director of the Cowan Institute, which is located on campus. We also have JC, who has been very active in NOLA PS, including being a school board member. And we also have Trung, who has been a professor of practice for quite some time, as well as Erica Smith, who is a full-time faculty member with us, but she also works in the academic STEM program in the College of Science and Engineering. This is a quote from our Associate Director and Professor of Practice, Dr. Parker Woods. And she just wants us to know that wants everybody to know that we try to create experiences that are valuable and applicable in all education sectors. And we have crafted our courses and our programs based on student experience. So Jennifer mentioned that most of our MED courses are online, and the MAT are hybrid. None of our courses are 100% asynchronous. And we do that because we value the graduate experience. And we know that a part of the graduate experience is being able to collaborate, connect, and network with other students within the program, as well as the instructors. So although the courses may be online programs, there are some meeting days, and that varies by course. So she mentioned the MED courses rather, those are all online, but they meet 4 to 6 times a semester in a live session. So, and in those live sessions, they are designed to include interactive experiences and lots of collaboration between the students. So definitely the experience of the students is at the forefront. And that's kind of where Dr. Woods was getting with her quote on the screen. We offer 2 master's degrees, as Jennifer mentioned. One is the Master of Arts in Teaching. The Master of Arts in Teaching leads to initial certification or state licensure with the state of Louisiana. So once you complete the Master of Arts in Teaching, if you complete all requirements, you will earn your master's degree as well as your Louisiana teaching certificate at the same time. So that program was created to meet all of the state requirements for certification. The MED program is of course, Master of Education. You have options to either earn a general Master of Ed, where you take the core courses and then you can kind of create your own pathway of electives. We have lots to choose from. Or you can opt for a specialization in either educational leadership, special education, English language learners, and learning experience design, which used to be a part of instructional technology. So the learning experience design is all about creating those educational experiences in the IT world.
And as Dr. Davis just mentioned, you can earn your MED in conjunction with the graduate certificate, and you can also earn the graduate certificates on their own, either after earning your MAT, or if you are interested in just earning a graduate certificate, that's great as well. For the special education graduate certificate, that's an 18-credit graduate certificate. The other 3, equity-centered education leadership, learning experience design, and teaching English learners, those are 12-credit graduate certificates. And then for special ed and teaching English learners, we provide the courses necessary to pursue your add-on endorsement with the state of Louisiana. There are other requirements set forth by the LDOE that you will have to comply with, but we will guide you and let you know exactly what the LDOE will need.
Thanks, Jen. And as she mentioned, these graduate certificates can be done as a separate graduate certificate, or it's something that you can do along with the MED. We also have MAT students who are interested in completing their MAT and then pursuing the leadership graduate certificate, or they want to earn their endorsement in English language learners, and so they pursue that graduate certificate. So there's a way to kind of pursue both, and we can provide that information on an individual basis. Admission requirements, which is probably what everybody wants to know about. So in order to qualify for admissions to the MAT and MED programs, you have to have a bachelor's degree. If your degree is from a university outside of the US, you will have to have the transcript evaluation that goes along with it. We also have an application with a required essay. And the reason I say required is because every once in a while, we will have an applicant who will not complete the essay at all. And if the essay is not complete, then you have not submitted a complete application. So please do not skip over the essay that's included in the application. The GPA for admission is a 3.0. However, we will consider all GPAs that are submitted. If your GPA is below a 3.0, we encourage you to submit a professional letter of reference to support your application. You also have to request official transcripts from all colleges and universities that you've attended. Once you are working on your application, if you have copies of your transcript, you can definitely attach the unofficial transcripts to the admission application. That will keep your application moving if you've submitted everything else. And your application can move through the process, and you would just have to submit official transcripts prior to your start, okay? So official transcripts have to be received, but you can get started through the process with unofficial transcripts that are uploaded. You also must have a resume uploaded as a part of your admission process. And the professional letter of reference, as I mentioned before, that is not a requirement for all applicants. That is a highly suggested document if your GPA is below a 3.0. It's just another way to help strengthen your application if you don't have the minimum GPA. So we have a great funding opportunity for the MAT program. I just want to make sure that everybody understands this opportunity is only for the MAT, the Master of Arts in Teaching. The MED program, unfortunately, does not qualify for this funding opportunity. And that funding opportunity is the SEED grant. And it's a grant that we have been fortunate enough to receive along with some other partners. And what we offer with that grant is full tuition waivers. So all of your MAT courses will be, the tuition for those courses will be waived if you are accepted into the SEED grant program. We also have a commitment that comes with the SEED grant program, and that commitment is that you teach in a charter or public school in NOLA PS for 3 years. Most of you are likely familiar with the residency or student teaching that the state requires. Your 3-year commitment starts once you enter the residency. So even if you start the program today and you're a teacher this year does not count for your commitment because the commitment starts when you enter into the residency part of the program. So it's the residency year and 2 years that follow. And as I mentioned before, that covers the tuition. You will still be responsible for the fees and books. I will say our fees are very minimal. Just to give you an example, in a recent semester, we've had a student who received the SEED grant, and his bill for fees for the semester was less than $200. So the fees are pretty minimal for our courses, but that is something you would be responsible for. You are not able to use the SEED grant to cover the fees. With that being said, the SEED grant does require an additional application. So once you complete the admission application process, you will have an opportunity to apply for the SEED program. The SEED application deadline, as you'll see in a few minutes, is a little different from the SoPA admissions deadline. It's much sooner. And part of that seed process is you submit your admission application, then you submit the seed application. In order for, if you are accepted as a seed recipient, in order for the university to process your tuition waivers, you must have accepted your application offer, which includes paying a $200 tuition deposit. That deposit cannot be waived. However, it is credited to your financial account with the university. So that $200, you still will have access to that in terms of your financial account with the university. And as I mentioned, you will get the seed application after you submit your MAT application. We have additional tuition options and discounts for those who may not necessarily be a part of the SEED program. So one of the options that are out there is that we have a lot of school districts and other employers who have tuition, either tuition reimbursement or tuition waiver programs that you possibly qualify for. So I'll give one example. One of those examples would be those who work in Jefferson Parish. So if you are a Jefferson Parish teacher, then you qualify for the MAT program, rather qualifies for the Jefferson Parish tuition waiver. And once you apply for your 20% tuition discount, the Jefferson Parish tuition waiver covers all but $40 of your tuition. Okay. Tuition for the MAT program is at the undergraduate rate, which is $623 per credit hour. And the MED and graduate certificate tuition rates are $1,210 per credit hour. I will say we have had a recent change where the English language learners and special education graduate certificates are also offered at the undergraduate rate. So these tuition rates are very affordable. Thankfully, the college or the School of Professional Advancement is allowed to have a very different tuition rate from the other schools within Tulane. So it makes it a little bit more affordable. For anyone who currently works in a school as a school staff member or faculty member, you qualify for a 20% tuition discount, as well as anyone who is active duty military and veterans, alumni of Tulane, or if you have graduated from an HBCU. Also, those who work for the city of New Orleans and public safety officers, such as firefighters, police officers, and paramedics. And as you can see on the screen, we have a few others who could possibly qualify for the 20% discount. I will say these tuition discounts cannot be stacked. So if you receive the SEED grant, then you do not qualify for the 20% off of your fees. Or if you meet more than one of the categories that qualify for the discount, you still only get that 20% off one time. You don't get it for every category that you qualify for. Financial aid is also available. For financial aid, the federal grants and loans, that's something that you would have to contact the Office of Financial Aid to receive details regarding. SoPA also has a $1,500 transfer student scholarship that you can apply for. So if you're transferring from another university, that's something that you may want to look into. We also have early enrollment scholarships. Now, the early enrollment scholarship is a one-time thing. This means you have to be admitted and registered for your courses by the deadline in order for them in order for you to qualify for the early enrollment scholarship. And it's only available to you during your first semester. The SoPA learning experience, as I mentioned before, when we had Dr. Woods on the screen and she shared a quote. The learning experience is very, very important to us. And we have faculty members in our programs who have experience in both K-12 and higher ed. So you are learning from those who have already experienced many of the things that either you are experiencing now or things that you wish to experience in the future. We are very selective in making sure our faculty members have the experiences and credentials to make sure that the students receive the best experience throughout our programs. And again, as I mentioned, we want to make sure that things are, the things that you're learning are things that you are able to apply immediately as well as in the future. And we also value that graduate experience of being able to connect and network. So that is also a part of it. We have many, many layers of support that are available to our students. And that's also a part of the SoPA experience, is making sure that our students are supported in the best way possible. Yes, it's graduate school, so it does take time, it does take work, but there are supports in place to help you along the way. And this is just a snippet of some of the student support that's received. All students have an academic advisor, which in many ways is very unique to grad school. Many times graduate students don't necessarily have an academic advisor who they could have access to, who can help them along the way and provide some of those critical advising meetings for them. Again, we have expert faculty who have lots of experience within the education sector, not just pre-K-12 and higher ed, but they also have some of the nonprofit experience as well as some of the educational businesses. We also have a career advisor who offers many webinars throughout the year. And in addition to that, if you are preparing for a job, she will help you revise your resume and make it as up to date and polished as possible. She will do mock interviews with you. If you are kind of on the fence about what you want to do exactly, she can help you with that career planning. So we have quite a few things in place to support students throughout. So if you are still interested, the next thing for you to do is go to sopa.tulane.edu and apply. If you are present today and who I mentioned earlier is a part of the admissions team and will notate your account. So once you submit, your application fee will be waived. If you are in attendance today and you go in and submit and you go back the next day and notice your application fee is not waived, just send Ann a quick email and she'll take care of that for you. Just give her 2 to 3 days to get around to it because she does wear many hats. So sometimes she needs a little extra time to get that done. The other thing you have to make sure you have is a government issued ID, whether it's a state ID, driver's license, passport, all of those can be uploaded as a part of your required ID within your application. And as I mentioned before, the transcripts can be unofficial to get your application started, but you definitely have to request those official transcripts to be received directly by the admissions office. And make sure those are received from all of the colleges and universities that you have attended thus far. We mentioned the early enrollment early enrollment scholarship already. It's $200 for undergrad students and $500 for graduate students. But remember, in order to meet that deadline, you have to be admitted and enrolled in your spring courses by December 1st. That is the early scholarship deadline. However, the regular deadline for the spring semester is January 1st if you are not interested in the early enrollment scholarship. And most importantly, the seed deadline. If you are interested in the seed grant, your application is due November 1st because you have to submit your seed application by November 15th. So with seed and the tuition waiver process, it has to go through a few channels. And in order for all things to be in place for your tuition waiver to take effect by the beginning of the spring semester, we have to adhere to some additional deadlines regarding the seed grant. So that's why that application deadline is so much sooner. If you start your application and you are definitely interested in the seed grant and you realize that you are not going to meet that November 1st deadline, reach out to one of us and we will inquire about whether or not you want to change your application to the summer application instead. So you can continue to finish it, but you'll be considered for the summer instead of the spring. So the summer deadlines are there. It's May 1st, but again, that seed deadline is much earlier. And then the fall deadline is August 1st, and the seed deadline is much earlier on July 1st. So make sure that if you're interested in seed, I can't tell you how important it is that you adhere to the seed deadlines. Otherwise, we're going to ask if you want to defer to the next semester. Do we have any questions at this time? I am checking the chat. For those of you who are still with us, Anne has included her email address in the chat. So take note of that just in case you have to email her regarding the application waiver. But usually once she puts those in, then you're good to go. The MAT program is not fully online. Some of our courses, many of our courses actually are online, but once you get to the methods courses, some of the methods courses require in-person class on campus. And it's not every week, but it is a few times throughout the semester. So the methods classes are more hybrid as opposed to all online. Our foundational classes are online. The courses that are offered in summer are online. But once you start your methods courses, some of those will require a hybrid model where you will come to campus. And all of our courses are offered in the evening because most people who are working on MAT and MED are already working a full-time job. So our courses are scheduled to kind of help meet the need of our students, which is in the evening time. Most courses start at 5:30, and it's usually 5:30 to 8:20 on whatever day it's scheduled. Any other questions? Okay, if there are no more questions, we have the advisor email addresses at the bottom. Torian Mingo is our MAT advisor and Jen Bourgeois is our MED advisor. Please feel free to reach out to them through email. Their office numbers are there also, but I can almost guarantee you will get a much quicker response through email just because they have the flexibility to check it whenever and wherever. So I would encourage you to reach out through email if you have additional questions for them. My email is cdavis57@tulane.edu. You can also email me with any additional questions as well. So since we have no more questions, thank you all for joining us, and we hope to see you soon. Don't forget the application deadlines are coming really soon. Seed is November 1st. Oh, one more question. How would I know if requested transcripts have been received? So once you start your application, you will have an account where you can log in and you can see how your account is updated. So it will show you which materials have already been received. Also, when you request your official transcripts, you should get a reference number, and that reference number allows you to go in and kind of check the status of those transcripts to see if we received it or not. And the other thing that I'd like to add in regard to transcripts, in the application, it tells you the exact email address to request the transcripts to. Please make sure they go to Tulane SoPA and not Tulane NTC. If they go to Tulane NTC, there's going to be a pretty big delay in your application, because we will have to request that NTC basically transfers those transcripts to us, because it has to be in the system with the application. You're welcome. All right. Thank you, everybody. Again, if you have questions, please reach out. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to be in touch with you all soon. Have a good evening.
Good night. Thank you.